indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Tonight's roll call: Casagrande is excused. Dumas.
Here.
Calhoun.
Here.
Osaka.
Here.
McClure.
Here.
Wells.
Here.
Mayor Terry.
Yes.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is citizen comments on any subject except those items scheduled for a public hearing. There is one public hearing item. Madam Clerk, is anyone signed in?
Yes, ma'am. The first person signed in is Melody Jordan.
Thank you, Council. Melody Jordan, I live outside the city limits, and I'm here to thank the electric department. I think it's important. I'll come and might complain about this and that, but it's also important to come and give kudos when kudos are due. So I had an issue in front of my property, and I went to Roy, and he listened.
Roy was the tree contractor, but go ahead.
Sorry, Rob.
Yes.
Sorry, Rob. I also talked to Roy. Rob's the one that really helped me, so I talked to Rob. He listened and sincerely listened to what I had to say, and he took it seriously. And about a week later, some folks from the Jason and Brian from the electrical department came out and took care of the problem. So I just want to say thank you to him, and thank you because again, it's important to get up here and say when something really goes good, to say that as well. So thank you very much, and kudos.
Yeah, that's so nice. Thank you. Is there anyone else signed in?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak during citizen comments? Nope. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda and consent agenda, and I'm looking for a motion and a second.
I move for the approval of the agenda and the consent agenda.
Are there any changes?
I'd like to pull, you seconded that.
Yes, sorry.
2022-084 from the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you. I have just a small change. Under presentations, it says none, but I'll give an elections update, just real quickly, verbally.
Okay.
Any other changes? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Madam Clerk, could we call for a vote on that?
Voting on the approval of tonight's agenda and consent agenda as amended. Dumas.
Yes.
Wells.
Yes.
McClure.
Yes.
Calhoun.
Yes.
Osenga.
Yes.
And Mayor Terry. Yes, your agenda and consent agenda are approved. And approved on tonight's consent agenda, Resolution 2022-083, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with R&M Consultants to complete the limited source removal soil remediation for the City Public Works and Shop at 434 6th Avenue, Seward, Alaska, task order 2734.11 in an amount not to exceed $41,087 and appropriating funds. You have also approved the July 11th, 2022 City Council special meeting minutes, the July 11th, 2022 City Council regular meeting minutes, and you have appointed Benjamin Smith and Dwayne Atwood to the Port and Commerce Advisory Board with terms to expire July 2025.
Thank you. Proclamations and awards, there are none. City Manager's report, starting on page 3, and I'll turn it over to the City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. An item that is not in my report and I wanted to report on is regarding the audit, the 2021 audit. We're getting close. We're still waiting on documentation from Providence, but I have been in contact with Providence, and they are getting those documents together from their auditors, and so hope to have that before you very soon. So anyway, I wanted to let you know that we had hoped it would be here by now, but it is not quite here yet, but it will be soon. Maggie is here this evening,
Yes.
and she wanted to just come up and introduce herself to you. As you know, she is our new Parks and Rec Director, and she has hit the ground running, literally.
Thank you so much, you guys, and sorry for coming in late.
You're right on time.
I can play the kid card a little bit. Yeah, some of you, I think I know most of you, Randy, council member Randy, I don't know you, but for those of you that don't know me, Maggie Wilkins. I've been in Seward for over 18 years. I came in 2004 for the summer. Like so many other people, I got hooked. And pretty much immediately decided that this was the community for me. Save a little second guessing, watching the Red Sox postseason that fall. It was a little painful, but that was when they broke the curse. But other than that, yeah, I pretty much immediately said this was the town for me. Of course, winter came around and I was like, oh, okay, that's why nobody sticks around. But even so, the community was incredible, and I decided right then that this was going to be my home. I actually am a returning employee with the city. I spent 10 years with the city between 2006 and 2016. I had a small stint in planning. I was a seasonal planner, and then the bulk of my time was with Parks and Rec, so returning to Parks and Recreation. And then I spent about a year and a half in the harbor before taking over Boys and Girls Club from 2016 until last fall. And this position came up, and I just got a renewed drive to want to help my community, which has been struggling so hard over the last few years, like everywhere else in the world. And I just felt just a renewed fire kind of well up, and I decided on a whim to apply, and luckily you guys have given me the opportunity. And it has been. I started right before the 4th of July. My first day, I think, was June 30th, and so I really did hit the ground running. And we have a lot of work to do, as some of you have cued into. That's an understatement. There's a lot to do, but you know what? I'm an eternal optimist, and I see challenges as opportunity to rebuild and grow in a better way, and I feel very good. I have a really amazing team. I have 3 core staff that have been here for a couple of years, and they are incredible. They've been through a lot, and they care enough to have stuck it out, and I'm very fortunate to have them. Now, the risk, or the challenge right now, is just keeping them from burning out further. So we're just trying to get through the season, and if I could just, first of all, thank everybody for all of your assistance, all the other departments and community members who have stepped up to help out where we've been lagging. It's just amazing. We have such a great community in that way, even when other people are struggling as well. It's been really incredible to witness. If I could just beg you to extend that grace a little further as we get through the busy season. You know, this fall and this winter, we have big plans to really, you know, make some big movements. So thank you all so much.
Great, thank you. Welcome. Are there any questions for, I don't know if you were ready to be on the hot spot, but are there any questions for the Parks and Rec? Go ahead.
Hi Maggie, thank you so much for being here. I don't really have a question, I just have a comment. I want to make sure that you feel good about your budget for Parks and Rec and know that you have the resources financially to rebuild what you need to. So whatever I can do as a council member to help you in that area or support you, I'm here for you, and I'm really excited to have you.
I appreciate that. Yes, budget is, it's an interesting time to jump in, not only being in the busy season, but in the middle of the budget process. Again, just an opportunity to clean things up and start anew. There is a lot of work to be done there, but you know, I have great resources. Other departments have reached out to offer their assistance too, so I really appreciate that. And yeah, there'll be a lot of talks and a lot of meetings and a lot of work on that going forward. But I feel very confident we'll be able to pull it together.
Great, thank you so much. Any other questions?
Yeah, thank you
Great,
guys.
thank
Thanks
you.
for your time.
I don't have anything else unless there's questions.
And then your written reports in the packet, are there any questions for the city manager? I might just note for the public, if they're watching, that the interim summary of findings is in the packet, and it's in the draft form. And I should have said this earlier at the special meeting, is there any way at the start of our webpage, that, you know, some of these timely items can be more at the front, like I think having that community, or maybe a Facebook post about the community survey results. And then, or highlighting like the special meeting we just had. I just hope that the findings of that rec center gets more widely distributed to the community. Go ahead.
When we spoke earlier, I had a question about when this was going to be finalized, and, right, and what was the date that you said we meet again?
The public meeting is September 28th.
Correct.
Okay.
September 28th is the public meeting.
And the timeline's in the
I know it was, I just
PowerPoint.
wanted to make it public.
More public.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you.
Any other questions for the city manager? Thank you. Next on the agenda is Chamber of Commerce report by Executive Director Kat Sorensen. And look, she's still smiling, and it's following the 4th of July. So, and that's found on page 50.
Yeah, I first and foremost want to give a thank you to every single person in this room. I feel like this entire community stepped up to help make the 4th of July great, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without any of you. If I flagged you down on 4th Avenue freaking out about roadblocks, Maggie, within like 4 days of being on the job, handling the fireworks so that I could get some sleep before actually racing in the race. And then all of the local community members who stepped up and did games on Church Street, let us hide generators on their property, doing all of these fun things that helped make it a success overall. We were really, really excited with how it turned out. And look forward to doing it again next year. But a big thank you to the city and all of the city employees for all their support. We wouldn't have been able to do it without you. And I wanted to come and say that last meeting, but I got COVID almost immediately after, so a forced reset and rest was very, very nice. Next up though, no rest for the wicked. The Salmon Derby starts August 13th, so first a thank you to the council and city for continuing their sponsorship and support of that. We're really looking forward to starting that up. Tickets are on sale online now, so you can get your Derby tickets for all of the days for $50 or one day for $10. We also have a couple of cool side pots available, so you can increase your chances of winning. And there's a $10 raffle for Alaska Airlines that nobody's entered yet, so who knows? Might be your lucky day. And we are still looking for some volunteers on some of those ships. So if you or somebody wants to weigh some fish, count some tickets, sell some sweatshirts, those signups are available at salmon.seward.com. And in the background on all of this, the visitor center is still getting a lot of visitation across the whole summer. We had nearly 2,500 visitors in June, seeing about 150 to 200 a day. Our full-time staff members and our part-time staff members are staying busy at the cruise ship terminal, greeting cruise ships, the Salmon Derby booth as an auxiliary visitor center, and then at our main visitor center. We also have been finding in a lot of situations that foreign visitors and those that don't have cell phone service, we've been acting as a purchase point for the City of Seward campground. So that's something that we might want to connect on later to make sure that that's an easier process so that we can help them out since they don't have any access to cell phones that work here to make those bookings. We've been doing probably about a dozen of those a week. Other than that, everything's going smoothly. Really, really trying to get this electric charging station installed. Out of my hands, but working on it. The electric and the utility did everything that they need to do, so now it's just waiting for the powers that be at EV to push a button, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. But I promise you it'll be installed by the end of the summer. And I think that's it. Any questions?
Any questions for the chamber? Great written report and great July 4th, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is Small Business Development Center report by Small Business Advisor Kelly Ann Cataracci. And that you can find starting on page 52 of the packet. Welcome.
Thank you. I just wanted to also start by saying thank you to council and the city of Seward for supporting this position in Seward. Now, with 6 months under me, I have not only seen it change my life and how much I enjoy my work, but also being able to make changes here with supporting small businesses. It's been very rewarding, I think, both for myself and for the clients. And with that note, I have nothing but positive news to report. So this quarter, we had the record of new client signups for Seward in the history of SBDC.
Good job.
And so 10 new client ups, almost 4 times as many as this quarter last year in 2021. The top 3 business types that we're seeing is accommodation and food services. This is categorized by NAICS code. Services, and then transportation, particularly tour related. So it's great for me, considering given my history at Major Marine Tours, the Flamingo Lounge, and Salt Fruits. Those are the 3 categories I know best. So I'm really happy that starting out the first 6 months, that's kind of the clients that have been attracted to SBDC. Also, it's interesting, pre-ventures have made up about 20% of the new clients we've seen. Startup businesses, in business less than 24 months make up about 25%, and then established businesses about 55%. So not just startups, and that's really interesting. It's about a 45 to 55 split. What we're seeing trending across the state for SBDC in general, but also here in Seward, is established businesses coming for advice for their exit plan. So a lot of buy-sells that I would see coming to fruition over the next year, and so just setting them up for success in that respect. Other than that, total client hours, 153 for this quarter, total clients, 66. And that's including clients that I had met with last quarter as well. I've been assisting with rural clients as well in kind of similar economic environments. So, your Haines and Cordova, things like that, where we don't currently have an advisor for that. Capital infusion, another big thing that happened this quarter, so not only did it affect me personally, but the Low Point landslide, I really dove in deep on how to make idle funds available for these businesses. So I met with the governor's office a few months ago, and then met with 14 Low Point businesses to get economic injury worksheets done, which is kind of all the predecessor for approving these idle loans. And then as you might have seen, as of 2 weeks ago, they did approve idle loans. So over the next year, they have until end of April of next year, but I am here as a resource to help these businesses get those low interest loans if they need it, if they lost out on revenue that they depend on in the spring. So pretty excited about that, and excited to see the capital infusion that comes from it. Capital infusion so far that I've assisted with is $2.9 million. A majority of that came from a few of my clients getting their second increase on the COVID idle loans in 2022. But we do have quite a few big projects coming, development projects for 504 loans, which SBA 504 loans, so excited to see that kind of come through the pipeline in the next few months. And as for client surveys, so far 100% positive.
Great.
And that's great. Any questions at all for me?
Any questions? We very much appreciate a very thorough report and all your work to help the business and the citizens of Seward, so thank you so much. Next on the agenda, I added this, I probably could have done this during my citizen comments, but while we still have an audience potentially, I just wanted to go through a couple things that the clerk helped me put together, she put together for me to read. State elections, there's 2 elections on August 16th. There's a special election to fill the remainder of Don Young's seat in the House of Representatives, and that term would expire January 3rd, 2023. Primary in preparation for the November 8th election, state and federal positions, that's the 2 elections on the 16th. Seward and Lowell Point are in District 5. Bear Creek, Moose Pass, and All Points North are in District 8. And the city clerk will have the ballots for both districts for the absentee in-person voting that happens August 1st through the 15th. And clerk's office is second floor of City Hall. And the state started sending out new voter ID cards to everyone on July 13th, so watch your mailbox. Now for the municipal elections for the seats on this dais, you can pick up packets now in person at the clerk's office on second floor of City Hall, or they're actually online on the city website. And then you can file those candidate packets in person at the city clerk's office starting August 1 through the 15th. There are 2 council seats open, plus the mayor seat is also on the ballot, and that election will be held October 4th. And then again, packets for those candidates, if you want to get it online, they're on the city website under voting and elections page, and also available to pick up at the clerk's office. So if you wanted to do it online and you want the clerk's office to walk you through that, how to find that, you can just give them a call, and those staff will be able to help you. And then also, there is a school board, our school board seat for the area is also open. If you have interest in that, you can contact the borough clerk or go online at kpb.us. So any of this information, the clerk's office is the holder of that, and that's 907-224 4046 if you want to call, or you can look up the information online also. Next on the agenda, first we have a public hearing item, ordinance 2022-009, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance 2022-009 is amending Seward City Code, Section 2.25.045, Finance Department. This ordinance was introduced on July 11, 2022, and is coming tonight for public hearing and enactment.
So I will need a motion and a second to approve this ordinance.
I move for the enactment of ordinance 2022-009.
Second.
And then I'll let the administration give the presentation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This came forward out of, as we know, the Carmen Jackson team is reviewing the code, anything to do with finance, and this is one of the sections that they reviewed and suggested this language. If there are questions, his name is MC from the Carmen Jackson team is on the line, on the phone. Or
she's not
he will be
yet.
momentarily, if there are questions.
So maybe we'll hold off and see.
Okay.
And so, right now, I'll go ahead and I'll open up the public hearing. Has anyone signed, is there anyone interested in speaking to the public hearing? Dylan, did you wanna? No? And no one signed in?
No one signed in.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and close the public hearing item. We'll come back to the dais. So what are the wishes of the council? Are there questions that we want to get the CPA firm online for? You're looking at pages 56 and 57 in your packet. Any questions? Any discussion? The only comment I have is it seems very straightforward, so.
It is a reflection of what has been being done in the department, just cleaning up the language.
Okay. So Madam Clerk, I think we're ready for the vote.
Voting on the enactment of ordinance 2022-009. DeMoss?
Yes.
McClure?
Yes.
Wells?
Yes.
Osenga?
Yes.
Calhoun?
Yes.
Mayor Terry?
Yes.
That ordinance has been enacted.
Next on the agenda, there's no unfinished business items. We're down to new business, Resolution 2022-084. Madam Clerk?
Resolution 2022-084 is amending the 2022 budget to reflect mid-cycle budget adjustments and appropriating funds.
And I need a motion and a second.
I move for the approval of resolution 2022-084.
I'll second.
And then I'll turn it over to administration.
Madam Mayor, if we could, I would like to have
Yeah, let's
MC
get it.
on. Just as he's coming on, are you, okay, thank you. As he's coming on, I do want to say that I did receive an email today from the Carmen Jackson team, and the whole team has been kind of, serving as a finance director. MC is now our point person for finance director. So we still have the other CPAs that are doing other things for us, but he is also CPA, and he is our person. He worked on this along with Deputy Finance Director Suli Jacino, who could not be here this evening due to COVID.
Hello, MC.
Hi, MC. Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Hi, MC, this is the mayor, you are on with council, and so I think we're just getting you online. I'll turn it back to administration, and if there's questions, we're gonna tap into you.
Okay.
Okay, so administration, and then I don't know if you wanna just talk about, or do you want the CPA firm to talk about the resolution? I'll let you decide that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It is, the CPA firm worked on it, so I'll turn to them for the numbers, but it is part of the budget process. As you know, we're in a one-year budget this year, so this is kind of different from mid-cycle, but it is the adjustments that the Deputy Finance Director and then MC working with the city has these amendments to make.
So, I might just turn it over to you to walk us through some of the numbers. It's just good to let the public hear those for the public record. And then if there's questions, we'll ask you questions. But if you could kind of walk us through the numbers and where we're at. Are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me okay?
You're loud and clear.
Okay, great. So, yeah, what we're looking at, normally this mid-cycle budget amendment is done as part of a 2-year budget cycle, but we're in sort of a weird budget cycle right now, so we're doing it partway through just 1 year. So there wasn't a whole lot of numbers that we were looking at and needed to adjust. The biggest adjustment has to do with the Knoll Point landslide, and we adjusted $1.2 million of additional expense anticipated related to that, as well as the $1.2 million in revenue that hopefully the city will be reimbursed for. Those are the biggest changes that you're really going to see, as well as an increase of 15% in fuel costs across the board in all the funds. Excuse me. So what you see on the general fund side is an estimated increase in revenues of $1,137,500 and an estimated increase in expenses of $1,275,738. And as I mentioned, almost all that's related to the Lowell Park landslide increases and unanticipated expenses and revenue, and hopefully grant revenue that comes through related to that. The other thing to note in the general fund is the estimated net change in fund balance. So when the 2022 operating budget was approved by council, we were working with tentative numbers. The most recent draft of the financial statements we've seen from the auditors shows the 2021 fund balance exceeding significantly what was originally projected due to increased sales tax, as well as some decreases in expenses and other things that were not anticipated. So even though we're having a net increase of expense over revenue in the general fund, the ending net change in fund balance versus what was shown in the original 2022 operating budget is actually over that by $1.3 million, $1,344,804. So the positive change in the 2022 over what was originally anticipated shows a positive increase in the general fund balance versus what was approved in the 2022 operating budget. So that's good news for the reserves of the city. I know it's been a tough few years for a lot of municipalities, so it's good when you can actually get good news. So that's Schedule A, and then Schedule B just goes into the enterprise fund, and really all that's being adjusted in the enterprise fund is those fuel costs. So all the enterprise funds are seeing slight increases in their expense budget of that same 15%, just due to the increased fuel costs that we're all experiencing all across the country. And then in the electric fund as well, there is an additional $126,744 related to a change in the Bradley Lake project agreement that they're seeing increase their power purchase, their fuel purchase expense this year that we built in. And there's more detail in there that kind of goes into where some of those variances come from, and I can discuss that more in detail. detail if the council would like.
So if I can just articulate, so the 1.3 million, that positive fund balance above what we budgeted, that goes into our unrestricted cash balance, so that's that money's in our reserves at this point. So when we start the budget process for 2023 and 2024, we'll look and see if it's within the policy that's been outlined by previous councils, the 3 to 6 month level. But so those extra funds are in the cash balance.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay. I also wanted to add that currently, MC has told me that we are at 8 months in reserves, so we're above the band. We're above the 3 to 6 month band, so we're at 8 months currently. And Madam Mayor, I wanted to expand from there. I did, rather than have a suggestion of where else to appropriate that, as you stated, as we go into the budget process, I wanted to have, obviously budget discussions with council, and then knowing those funds were available if there were certain projects that needed to be budgeted for, or the council desired to be budgeted for. So they went into reserves to be available funds for other items.
As we talk about our CIP list.
Right.
And then I know earlier there was some question with the Harbor Enterprise Fund. So the available unrestricted cash balance in the Harbor Enterprise Fund is, as outlined in this agenda statement, $1,190,510 odd. So all these numbers I know are unaudited.
Correct.
But the Carmen Jackson firm has been working and are you pretty confident with these numbers then, even though they're not audited?
Yeah, so they're unaudited, and it's a moving target when you're looking at it and trying to grab it just as 5/31, which I believe is what those numbers were. So as of May 31st, which is the last month that was fully closed. But yeah, those numbers are a pretty good point in time. You don't get necessarily all the accruals of, there might be some additional payables or additional receivables out there. And the money fluctuates throughout the year, so when you're looking at your audit reports, it's always as of December 31st.
Right.
So when you grab these numbers in the middle of the year, sometimes you get some anomalies or weird numbers, but those are those are good numbers as far as they can be.
It's a snapshot in time, but you're pretty confident with the numbers. Okay. Good, thank you. Are there any other questions? I should have actually turned it over to you first, sorry about that.
I basically just wanted to pull out so that we could get a public explanation of all the changes, so everybody knows that we're being open to their money and what's going on with it, so.
Yeah, thank you for that. Are there any other questions? I just want to thank the firm and administration for getting this before us as we're working on this budget process for the budget. Madam Clerk, I think we're ready to call a vote.
Voting on the approval of Resolution 2022-084. McClure?
Yes.
Dumas?
Yes.
Calhoun?
Yes.
Bosenga?
Yes.
Wells?
Yes.
And Mayor Terry.
Yes.
That resolution is approved.
Other new business items, next on the agenda is schedule work sessions to review and discuss the proposed changes to Seward City Code as part of the recodification project. And that starts on page 93.
Can I just
Yep, go ahead.
MC, we are done with you tonight, if you want to hang up.
We're hanging up on you, sorry, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm not sure if he did or not, I just wanted to say that just in case.
I think you ran away.
Thank you.
So it looks like there's some calendaring happening on page 95 of the packet.
What do we need?
I'll let you tell us how many meetings you need and what you want it to look like.
I would like 4.
Oh,
If we can do that, and cancel the last one if we don't need it.
Okay.
It depends on the pace that we work through. The recodification, it's gonna be a lot to go through. And it is, again, similar to the budget, sort of a moving target, because while we're doing the recodification, we are continue to approve ordinances. So, and that won't stop. I don't imagine that's going to stop just for the recodification. So we'll just have to continue to get through it. We'll start at the beginning, Title I, and just go through, and what I was going to present was a red line version, and just talk you through the proposed changes, where they're coming from, and why they're being proposed to be made, and then get your input on it. Take away any questions you have, and be prepared to answer them, before it gets presented to you for the final approval.
Suggestions, comments? I mean, would this be something that we should just schedule a whole day on a weekend and go through it?
You do, if you can bear it.
I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. Every Wednesday night, every Friday night?
No, well.
I mean, I'm throwing things out there to get people's opinion, knows, so let's hear what people want to do.
7 a.m.
I would prefer an all-dayer, personally.
Similar to the retreat kind of setup?
I don't have the attention span for that.
Okay, I mean, I'm just throwing things out there, 6 to 8 every morning.
I just don't. I'll
6
try,
a.m.
if everyone else wants to.
So
But I like a few nights.
I would just say a lot of the changes are going to be small and minor. They're not all meaty changes. They're just things that need to be fixed. So a lot of it, we can just go, it'll be, here it is. But I feel like you need to be made aware of what's happening. You don't have to weigh in on everything, but we really need you to be made aware of it, because you're going to be approving it.
So she'll be allowed to sleep for
that what
parts of
you're
this
saying?
meeting, if she wants.
You can take turns.
She's like, don't really have to pay attention.
3 nights in a row.
No, I'm fine with whatever.
I mean, I know I'm throwing things out there, so let's.
I was just wondering, how much time, how many hours total did you think that we would need? I heard you say 4 days.
Well, I was thinking,
4 2-hour meetings.
kind of, 8 hours. I don't know how to predict, though,
Yeah.
really, what questions we'll get and what,
I think if we spent a day, like a Saturday, we would be motivated to continue quickly and move through it.
Get it done.
And get done with it.
Is it also for the public, obviously?
absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
mean,
think
that's-
there's a few members of the public who would be paying attention and giving input.
And then it will ultimately come back in form of an ordinance.
Correct, but it'll be an all-in-one ordinance, which you can amend, certainly.
If we did 2 half-days, we'd still have time for fishing in the afternoon.
Oh, that's a thought.
I would much prefer a longer session, fewer of them, and not during the week, if
Yeah,
possible.
like a Saturday or something.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
my schedule's not really.
So the other thing that I'm thinking is candidate filing is the 1st through the 15th. I would like to schedule these after August 15th, because I think any candidates that are running should be
They should be
specifically
part of it.
invited to this, because it's going to impact them on the dais.
Absolutely.
So I'd be looking for after the 15th of August. And then the Derby is the 13th. What did we just hear? The 13th through the...
18th, I think.
oh, the
13th through the,
Basically.
doesn't go the
13th
21st.
through the 21st.
21st.
So like September 3rd or...
That's Labor Day weekend.
Well, there we go. Yeah. Just saying. How about the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, October 1st? I'm just throwing dates out there.
September 10th. Throw that out there.
I will actually
You'll be
be
gone.
visiting family until the 11th, sorry.
How about the 17th?
I am here on the 17th.
That's okay with me.
I most likely will be here on the 17th, but I potentially will be gone that weekend.
So the 24th?
We may not need to.
How does the 24th look?
The 24th is the meeting already for,
Oh, that's
We
right.
already
The,
have that
Hemlock-
joint work session.
yeah, subdivision. The both
On the
Stephen.
Saturday?
Yeah, yes, both Stephen and I will be on the 17th. I don't know if you
How
want
about
us.
the 1st?
Of,
October 1st.
we don't go that far.
It's the very last date on this back page.
Oh, there it is, right there, October 1st.
I mean, that's pretty far in the future.
Unfortunately, I'll be in ADAC.
Okay, let's go back to
August?
August.
What was the deal on the 27th? What happened to that?
Nothing. I was skipping through
Oh.
salmon derby. This is 27th?
It's after the Derby.
I'm supposed to go fishing that day with friends. That's on the calendar. They're coming to town.
So it's quite apparent this should probably be a winter time excursion instead of a summer fishing.
You know what? You are the decision makers.
Well, we
I
could,
knew this was gonna be painful.
I mean, October 1st.
But
Did someone say no on
Yeah,
October 1st?
somebody did.
Oh,
October 8th?
how about
So-
October 8th?
So I will be gone.
How about October 15th?
I'll be gone.
22nd?
I'll be here.
I can do the 22nd.
Sure, I can't even think that far, yeah, sure. Saturday, October.
But you guys can do it without me.
No, no, if you,
Nobody else got to say that.
yeah. October 22nd.
October 22nd.
Perfect.
All right.
And we'll go back. Oh, come on.
So where we're
I can still
at
change
though
my
is
flight.
there's gonna be new people on council for certain.
Right, by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might not even,
Yeah,
No, I don't mean you, I mean, I am not gonna be here, I will not be here, so there will for sure be.
So, no wonder you're pushing for October.
No, I said, I threw out August. Yeah, smart
started in
hands.
August, you're right.
All right.
Okay,
October
Sounds good.
22nd.
October 22nd.
Put it on your calendar. And there will be snacks.
So I guess leading up to that, I guess my opinion would be most helpful is, so for that day, have it broken down so that people stay, so that we're on track with titles. So a schedule during the day of what titles. And then, if we're taking it in, bite-sized pieces, maybe packet it out, for council to get it in bite-sized pieces ahead of time. Right? Okay. You guys will do great. Anything else?
I just see we dropped the ball on that one. Letting you go.
And so the only thing I have to say with that is probably city administration, that's within their purview, are at some level maybe also want to be involved during those work sessions, is that how?
I guess it'll be really up to how, sorry for interrupting it, but how you want it to go. We're continuing our review at this point, and so it gives us a little time to give back to Brenda our review. We do have just some minor things, as Brenda's talked about, but however you envision it, we'll be here. We'll both will be here.
So
Yeah.
at least there's a date and then more things. Did you need a motion? Do you want a motion for that?
No, that's fine. Everyone's in agreement. October 22nd, 2024.
We'll be done with our review by then, Brenda.
Information, items, and reports, there are none. Citizen comments. Any citizen comments? I don't see any. Council and administration comments, I'll turn it over to administration.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think the only one I would have is a thank you for, I know we're having a lot of special meetings lately and a lot of big issues, and just thank you for your attention to that. And as we're working through it, working through it together, and I really appreciate it. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Velez?
yes, so thanks to the administration. I did get to go on a tour, and I highly recommend it, over to the Homer Electric Association in Soldotna last week, and it was mind-boggling how advanced their situation is over there. So if you haven't had the chance to go check it out, I highly recommend it. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember?
I'll just thank everybody for all their good work. A couple of things. Want to welcome Lieutenant Gabrielle Troyce, the new commander on the Mustang. I know there was a little confusion on where that change of command ceremony was going to take place. The weather changed it to Branson Pavilion, and that's where it ended up happening. Unfortunately, I was not able to make that, but the post commander did get there and meet the new captain on the Mustang, so welcome her. And also, you all know that the big icebreaker Healy is in town. We've enjoyed their company, and I know they were going to try and do some community service projects a little bit while they're here. I don't know because of weather. A lot of it was outdoor stuff. There was some coordination going on between Claire Sullivan and the Sea Life Center, and some things that they would like to get done. I don't know if that's going to happen or not just because of weather. But welcome to Healy if you get a chance to see them. They've been running all over town. They're great folks, and we've had a long-standing relationship with them coming to Seward as they head north to go play in the ice. So, good thing. And that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Osenga?
First, I'd like to say, Maggie, welcome back.
Thank you.
I think, thank you, administration and everybody here. This was just a good meeting with lots of information. I think it was a good meeting. And just everyone be safe out there.
I would like to say thank you to administration. I think that just a lot of the decisions that you've been making lately are really good for our community, and I look forward to all of the things that are happening. I love the decision you made to hire Maggie. Maggie, welcome back. I think it's a huge benefit to our community, and I also want to remind everyone to give her a little time that she needs. I know we're all excited to get some projects done, but she's going to need the time. Rob, for all of his work with the utility, just the education is going to be a huge piece, and I think he's really good at that. So I look forward to being a part of that process, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Yeah, welcome Maggie. I'm glad you came and introduced yourself for the people that might not know you. We have a good team in this city, and it makes me kind of wonder. I know, like with planning and zoning and the other meetings, I watch them on YouTube or I watch them after, so I'm hoping people are watching all this, and the fact that we had hardly anyone here for any of this tonight isn't a reflection of how much or little people care, because great things are happening in Seward and we're moving along. Check out the animal shelter. I walked by there and it's exciting. I have to share with you that I had a really neat thing happen a week ago Saturday. Lee Pileski and I do this first mile of the Iditarod Trail History Walk, and there was a group of about 30 people from outside. They'd arranged it back in May, and we were going to do that with these people, but it was pouring rain. And so they had a big bus, and so we did it with a mic in the bus, which allowed me particularly to have some more interaction with some tourists. And I don't see tourists much, because I'm not in the, tourist business. And I was just blown away with their incredible interest. They were taking notes, wanting exactly the spelling of Belaine, for example. And I got to talk about the earthquake. It was just awesome anyway. And they were, so tourists are good things, in that respect. And I just wanted to share that. And on a more somber note, there's condolences to be said for multiple families in Seward right now. I played for John Gage's service on Saturday, so to the Gage family. Eileen Albertson had passed, and to their family, and also W.C. Casey's family. There was a death in that family too. So just keep people close in Seward.
Thank you. I wanted to thank Benjamin Smith for being willing to be reappointed to PACCAB, and also Dwayne Atwood. I believe that Port and Commerce Advisory Board is full at this point. I wanted to thank Melody Jordan for coming in with the thank you. It's nice that the electric utility is getting thank yous. And also add my condolences to that list of those. It's important to sit in grief with our citizens, and I believe John Gage is a former city employee, former fire chief, So if there's some sort of certificate or something that we could do for him and his family, but then also with those other families mentioned, if we can send council condolences, please. That is all I have. So with that, I'm going to adjourn the meeting.